And shout out to Deontay's Boxing Nation.
DBN Nation, of course. Support DBN Nation. You're hearing it from Floyd Money Mayweather.
It's Terrence Crawford, and you're watching Deontay's Boxing Nation.
This is Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, and you're watching Deontay's Boxing Nation.
Hi, you're watching Deontay's Boxing Nation. Woo! Hey.
Can you tell me, have you in the boxing industry ran across a gentleman by the name of Rick Glazer?
I mean, we don't do regular business with him, but like everybody, I think on the fringes, he might have a fighter that he books on one of our shows. That I don't know. But, you know, not generally, not a lot of business.
Would you consider him a pay-per-view expert, someone that can commentate on pay-per-view numbers and buys?
No.
Okay, because
I wouldn't.
He did take to social media today claiming that Wilder did 138,000 pay-per-view buys with Luis Ortiz in the rematch, and not any truth to that 138,000.
I know for a fact, I can tell you, and I wasn't anything to do with that event, that 138,000 is ridiculous compared to what they did. I mean, it may have been 138,000 on a platform like DirecTV or In Demand, but 138,000 is crazy. They did a lot better than that.
If you know, you know, and we all know, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie. That being said, shout out to the Boxing Voice. They had a great interview with Bob Arum. It was very informative. So if you're a hardcore boxing fan, you have to check the video out. So I'm going to leave it in the description box below. So go ahead and click on that link and watch the whole video. That being said, as y'all heard in the clip, Bob Arum came out and debunked Glazed pay-per-view numbers that he put out on social media of Wilder versus Ortiz rematch only selling 138 on pay-per-view. Obviously, Glaze don't have any connection with Fox Sport and the PBC, and he's sure not a pay-per-view expert. So these are fake rumors, according to Bob Arum, and we have to take them at face value because Bob Arum doesn't benefit anything by making these claims, because obviously Deontay Wilder is not his fighter, so he could care less. However, Bob Arum stated he probably did 140,000 pay-per-views on demand before the fight. However, during the fight, he definitely did more from his knowledge because it was a success. We all know, which is a fact, that Wilder versus Ortiz drew 2 million plus on the promotion leading up to the fight on more than one occasion. Now, that's what I call facts. And the definition of facts is something that you could prove to be true. And that's what new media goes by, is facts and facts only. So shout out to Deontay for starting the new media movement. And that being said, let's talk about it. What Glaze came out with is nothing but a rumor. Nothing more, nothing less. And for the people that say, well, if Deontay Wilder versus Ortiz rematch was such a success, how come PBC didn't release the pay-per-view numbers? Well, we could say the same thing about Canelo versus Kovalev. That fight was built as a legacy fight, Canelo moving up two-weight divisions. And keep in mind, Canelo fought way before Deontay Wilder did. Matter of fact, Deontay Wilder just fought. And the Canelo versus Kovalev numbers haven't been released by DAZN. And the reason I brought up Canelo is because all these Deontay Wilder haters are mad that Deontay Wilder is the face of the sport. And they want to debunk that by stating, hey, Wilder's not doing so well. Meanwhile, the better question is, how is Canelo doing? We haven't seen his numbers. We keep hearing of rumors that Canelo versus Kovalev was a flop on DAZN. And DAZN doesn't want to release them numbers. I didn't see none of the Canelo fans coming to my page and say, yeah, you're right, Deontay Wilder is the face of the sport because Canelo, his popularity is not growing anymore because he's not fighting the best. He's not fighting the Andres and the Charlo where his fans and boxing fans is actually going to be excited for once if he actually fights a legit opponent. We're tired of him fighting these crippled fighters, old fighters on their way out the door, fighters that aren't known, that he fights out of nowhere. He brought them out the mud and he fought fighters in the field, and he went to the field, and Charlo and Andres was on the field, and he chose to go to another field. That's the Rocky Fielding field. I didn't hear none of the Canelo fans come up to my channel and talk about Canelo and how he's doing. However, they want to dispute Deontay Wilder being the face of the sport when Forbes came out stating that, according to ESPN, Wilder is the most popular boxer in the world, above Canelo, Tyson Fury, and Anthony Joshua. Hater or love it, because every time he fights, it's a knockout. It's a must-see. That being said, every time Deontay Wilder fights, he goes viral. He's on the news. He's on the memes. He's on Twitter. He's on Instagram. Meanwhile, Canelo is stuck in the app. His popularity is not growing. And if y'all want to talk about numbers, let's talk about it. Deontay Wilder, let's say he sold 300,000. Matter of fact, let's lowball Deontay Wilder. Let's say he sold 200,000 versus Ortiz. 200,000 times $80 for every pay-per-view, that equals around 16 million revenue. If you compare that to what Canelo did, let's not compare it to the Kovalev fight because we don't know the numbers. However, let's compare it to numbers that we do know. For example, Canelo Alvarez versus Jacob, which that was a success according to DAZN, which they did around 660,000 views on DAZN. And you obviously got to keep in mind that fight costs $20 for you to watch it. And if you have an account, 2 people can use the same account. So that doesn't mean 660,000 people actually pay $20. But let's give Canelo Alvarez the benefit of the doubt, because unlike the Canelo fans, we aren't haters. So let's give Canelo the benefit of the doubt. So 600,000 times $20, that's 12 million in revenue. Wilder still brought in more revenue. On to the next fact. Canelo Alvarez only sold 10,000 tickets. I don't hear Canelo Alvarez fans hitting up Canelo in the comment section or hitting me up talking about, oh, Canelo is not doing what he's supposed to be doing, because if he's actually fighting the best, Floyd Mayweather can't come back to the sport and steal some more money. He's stealing Canelo money. Because if Canelo fighting the best, then his popularity will stay rising. But it's at a steady pace because Canelo is not doing his duties, which is fighting the best as a boxer that want to prove that he the pound-for-pound #1 in the sport. You see Deontay Wilder doing it. Fury ducked him the first time in the rematch. AJ didn't want to fight him. Klitschko didn't want to fight him. So he fought the boogeyman not once, but twice. Meanwhile, Canelo Alvarez fans want to come to my channel and accuse of Wilder for having a fake knockout when Ortiz failed in sections. And on the other hand, Canelo Alvarez fans and Deontay Wilder haters, they want to ignore all the fishy things that took place between Canelo and Kovalev leading up to the fight, from DAZN having a promotion of Canelo being a 4-time world champion before he even beat Kovalev. And the fact that Kovalev was pity-patting the whole night. They want to ignore that, but they want to talk about Wilder realest knockout against Ortiz in the rematch. It's a no-brainer. So that being said, one thing we do know is that Deontay Wilder carried himself like a true champion, because he defended his title 10 times without requesting a French fries title to avoid the best like Charlo and Andre. You don't see Deontay Wilder doing that. You don't see Deontay Wilder maneuvering around a fighter for 5 years like Canelo did around Charlo and Andre. You don't see Deontay Wilder handed a belt or requesting a belt to avoid a mandatory like Canelo did. Matter of fact, Deontay Wilder is the definition of a super champion because he defended his title 10 times. Meanwhile, Canelo, he vacated the WBC twice. He got stripped of that title when he was supposed to fight Golovkin the first time after beating Miguel Cotto, and when he was supposed to fight Charlo. That's why Deontay Wilder and Canelo don't compare, because Wilder is a true champion. Wilder had a close fight with the most dangerous fighter in the division, Ortiz, and he gave him a rematch. I didn't see Canelo Alvarez give Lara a rematch when they had a close fight, but I don't see y'all criticizing Canelo. However, y'all want to criticize the realist. So let's keep exposing y'all. Moving on to the next subject. For the Canelo fans that say you didn't give Canelo no credit for beating Kovalev, when I picked Canelo to knock out Kovalev with the ease, which he did, Canelo fans criticizing Deontay Wilder knockout, saying he knocked out an old man. Keep in mind, Ortiz, when Wilder fought him the first time, he was undefeated. He's the boogeyman of the division for a reason. Charlo and Andrade are the boogeyman at 160. I don't see Canelo fighting them. I see him fighting an old, washed-up fighter like Kovalev. Kovalev had been previously knocked out by Andre Ward, had been knocked out by Alvarez, and no, not Canelo Alvarez. He came back and beat Alvarez. Then he almost got knocked out by Yard. That's why Kovalev was washed up. Kovalev had a rehydration clause. Wilder fight fighters 40 pounds bigger than him. So you could say he pound for pound, and he been pound for pound because he fight guys bigger than him all the time. He fought Tyson Fury, a guy that could move like a middleweight, and he's 6'9" and weigh, I believe, like around 260 pounds. And Wilder came into that fight weighing 209 and still managed to drop Tyson Fury twice. And he wanted a rematch, unlike Canelo with Lara's situation. He said Lara runs too much. Wilder could have said the same thing. Canelo says Saunders run too much. He boring. As soon as he looked horrible against an unknown fighter, now he looking to fight him and he negotiating with him. So we know what time it is. It's all because of Canelo being from the hope list and Deontay Wilder being from the coincidental list, like Dante loved to say, which is 100%, matter of fact, is 1,000% true. So that being said, the face of boxing is Deontay Wilder, because the more he fight, the more money he's going to make. Yes, Canelo is making more money than Deontay Wilder. Wilder made $20 million guaranteed his last fight. Canelo made $33 million. But when Wilder fights the likes of Tyson Fury in a rematch on pay-per-view, the likes of Ruiz, that's the face of boxing when it comes to the Mexican fighters, he's going to make at least $50 million on one of those fights. So when Wilder fight a fighter that's popular, that's willing to fight him, then he's going to make more money than Canelo. And we all could map out Canelo next couple fights is probably cherry picks, like the usual. Meanwhile, we all know who Deontay Wilder fighting next. It's Tyson Fury, where he's going to make at least 40 to 50 million in that fight. Then the Ruiz fight. Then y'all can't deny Deontay Wilder his credit, because even Forbes have him as pound for pound number one. Me personally, I got Terrence Crawford. But my point is, finally, Deontay Wilder is getting his just due. We all know Deontay Wilder is one of the hardest hitters of all time, if not the hardest hitter of all time. That's a fact. If you hate on his power, then you're just a hater, period, because what's understood don't got to be explained. That being said, shout out to all my keys. Subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute. If you're trying to get dumber by the second, don't listen to these casual fans. Check out my new show, Split Decision. It's a debate boxing show hosted and posted every Sunday, and we will go live this weekend or next weekend for sure. That being said, shout out to Dante. Shout out to DBN for believing in his Aki, his brother / Migo. I appreciate Dante for giving me the opportunity to post on his platform. So click on the notification bell to get notified every time we post to go live. Shout out to Lunatune for the funniest boxing memes. If you're not following Lunatune, you're missing out on the laugh or two early in the morning when you first log in to IG. That being said, keep it a G and follow my man Lunatune because he too part of the new media movement. So shout out to new media and peace, and to be continued on the next episode of Aki TV. Ahi.